Hello everyone, welcome to Blue Dragon Universe, and this is the Blue Dragon Actual channel. So this is a question that I've been getting for a long time, and multiple people have reached out to me. Someone with referring someone else post, and someone referring to what other coaching centers might be propagating, or there are multiple such instances and scenarios. And the main question is which society to choose, because there have been some changes in the society and exemptions, and that is why students are kind of confused like what should be the best society to choose, and whether that impacts their job prospect if someone is looking to kind of go outside India and settle outside India. What should be the path they should take, which society would help them, right? So all these questions and those would be answered in today's video. So make sure you share this video with your friends, you hit the like button and subscribe to this channel for such content. Ensure that you check out our courses that is present in the description, and we are going to cover the lower papers, and we our hallmark is that we create practical courses that are related to job, because I head a actual department in a reputed company, and I understand what is needed and what kind of what where you need to kind of put your focus, and what are the things that will help you becoming a proper actuary and not a paper actuary, right? So without further ado, let's move into which society to choose and what are the pros and cons, right, under the current situation. Okay, so let's move into this. So I think the main question that you should be asking is which society help you qualify faster. Now I've made a video before as well, and I think you also can probably realize, if you want to realize, that is that these days the system is designed to make you a faster qualifier, or move towards your exam related goals much faster, because it has been becoming MCQ based, more exemptions, obviously more awareness, and the entire system is kind of working to make you faster exam qualified actually. And you should know that exams are just a very basic, very minimum, and that does not help you in real work. Real work is completely different, where you need to understand a software and you need to solve a lot of difficult problems. Though few companies work in such domain or environment where you follow a manual role, like you run something, extract the result, do something else without any brain work, right? But proper actual work will involve a lot of brain work. It would get you thinking, and you have to solve a problem, like, and you have to use a software usually. So that is why it cannot be taught in books. Books give you the basic, very basic, but these days the system is evolving to make you a faster exam qualified actually, so that you are relieved of the stress, and then you can concentrate on your work, right? And that is the necessity for a professional exam. Actually, as you know, is a professional exam, and it is supposed to be I think it is moving in the right direction. So II is known for its low cost and high pass rate, and recently it has increased the pass rate. It was actually known for low pass rate, but recently II has increased the pass rate for the last 3 4 attempts. I'm observing the pass rate has hovered to 40%, 50%, and in our time the pass rate was 4%, 5%. Few people believe it is because of the coaching centers, but that is not the case. Because I talk with people, I interview people, and I know the quality of the actual students has not gone up. It's just that they are given more numbers, and that is because the level of question has come down because of MCQs and computer typing. So that is the primary reason, and that is why I mentioned that the faster you qualify, you get relieved of the mental stress, and then you focus on something else. The mental stress will still be there, but for the real thing, that is understanding work, but not for passing exam. Exams are outdated by at least a decade. I keep on saying most outdated paper would be SP5 or ST5 or whatever you call that, investment paper. So that is the most outdated paper, and that is not required in real life. In real practical life, you need to do something else. So II kind of gives that opportunity, low cost, right? So you can take more risk in II and have really good passing rate. Recently also the exams are happening more times, like the lower papers are happening 4 times a year, as compared to IFA and SOA, where these exams are happening twice. Now it has its own pros and cons. Happening 4 times, students are just thinking of exam, and once they get into that exam mode, it is very difficult for them to understand real work, and they cannot find time for the real work. We have much more peaceful life, at least for the lower papers, but then that also gives them the opportunity to clear more papers, right? And particularly because it is MCQ, there is a factor of luck there. You might not know the answer of a question, but then you can, just by luck, you might qualify, right? So that also happens in MCQ. So that is where I think IAI, helps you a bit faster. IFA is more recognized. More, I mean, out of all these three societies, IFO is the most recognized one. It is recognized in Europe. It is very well recognized in US and Canada, and obviously in India, it is quite recognized. It is very stable. You will not see a massive jump in the passing rate, and whenever there is a massive jump or massive fall, the examiner has to explain that in the examiner report. So that is why it is very stable and it's very transparent. IFO is the most transparent society. They, from, I mean, since the time I was writing exam, they have been mentioning the exam result date, which IA has now picked up. But they were doing this when it was not in fashion, and they have started giving marks wise breakup, which IA is not giving or SO is not giving. And they have a very transparent way of conducting exam. Recently they have moving to technology based exam because there was a lot of cheating in IFA. That was one of the sad points or sad phase in actual environment and actual career. Many people have qualified using unethical methods, and sadly they are struggling in their job right now, because now they are, because they have, once they have taken shortcut, they would be kind of, their mindset will prompt them to take shortcut, and that is not good. That will not help you. But yeah, of course, IFOA has learned from that, and they are facing some technical challenges, but yeah, they are trying to move into a more proctored environment where they can conduct the exam more fairly, right? And sooner or later they would get the success, right? Today I was kind of seeing a post from someone, and I know know that person, and that person is not very mature as per me. I'm not going to name that person, but he was mentioning that II is leagues ahead of IFO in conducting technical, technical exams, or the technology aspect of IS leagues ahead. He do not know that I have seen people crying in exam when the exam keys were not working, the computer keys, laptop keys were not working when they have gone to write exam in the center. I've seen people cry in CA2 exam. In that, at that point of time, you have to travel to Mumbai and write the exam. There are multiple times the Excel file in the software where I have used, that was not being uploaded or that was not working properly. Multiple issues I have faced, and then they have evolved, right? So they are doing this for longer amount of time, and that's why they have evolved. Probably in the last couple of attempts, they have not faced any issues. So every technology comes with challenges. It happens in every sphere of life. Even the software that I work in or I basically create actual softwares, right? And help the life insurance industry basically. So there also, in our software also, there would be technical issues, bugs, challenges. So no matter how hard you try, there can always be technical challenges. What matters is your character to come out of those challenges. So IA has also faced this year of challenges. IFO is facing those challenges, and I am sure that they are going to come out of it, right? And SOA, finally, it is upcoming. It is only known in US and Canada. If you talk about SOA in Europe, even in the Asia side, very few people will be knowing that IFO is much more popular. And of course, India is also gaining some popularity. I was, few days back, I was talking to a Hong Kong based client, and he was saying that he knew about II, right? So AI is also gaining popularity by conducting seminar, webinars, etc. And SO is not that popular, but it is very popular in US and Canada. That side, SO is very, very dominating, right? So this is what it is, and I believe that out of these three, currently II will help you qualify faster. But we are going to look into other points as well. So II, few of the points we have already discussed. Priced, it is most cheaper. It is MCQ based, and multiple exams are conducted, right? So that will also help you take more risk because the price is lower. Purchase of study material is mandatory in II, so you have to purchase the study material, otherwise you cannot sit the exam. It is not required for IFO or SOA. but for II it is mandatory. Passing rate, essay paper used to have very low passing rate, very very low. But for the last four attempts, I have seen that they have increased the passing rate, especially essay two and essay three used to have very low passing rate. Now they have gone beyond 20%, which as per essay two and essay three standards is huge. And for a couple of other papers like lower papers, I've seen more than 90% passing rate this time. So I think the passing rate has significantly increased. It's not only a one attempt thing. It has been increasing for last 3 4 attempts, and I think that is going to stay because III has lost lot of revenue to IFOA. Many people have switched to IFOA because of this low passing rate, and I have recognized that they moved into MCQ. Basically, they made the exam easier, right? So that people will write from II and not from IFOA, right? So that is where I believe passing rate is going to increase only, right? And that is where I'm saying that the system is pushing you to be a faster actuary as compared to our time, which is a good thing, right? Which is a good thing. Recognition, it is recognized in India. It is also gaining popularity. It's conducting seminars, webinars. Even it is promoting to school students, which I don't agree with because school students hardly have the maturity. I am saying that because I get questions on regular basis from parents who even they do not have the maturity at that point of time. What would be good for their kids when they are at 6 or 7 or 8. So I don't think actually is for everyone, and it should not be for everyone. And that is where parents get motivated by those 1 crore package and whatever, like the higher package or higher thing that has been promoted by maybe the coaching centers and these days even by the institutes. But I believe that is not the right thing. But what where it is helping, it is making people more aware of actuaries, right? And that is where it is gaining popularity, right? And as I mentioned, it is known in Asia as well. It is known in bits and parts of Europe as well, right? So IA is fairly popular, and I think in because India is so huge as a country, and we are like our population is everywhere. Like if you remember the T20 World Cup, it was India versus India. The US team has many Indian players. The Canada team has many Indian players. So Indians are everywhere. So I think India is only going to gain more popularity. Actual Society of India or Institute of Actuaries of India, right? And it grants exemption. Pardon me the spelling. There should be no full stop here. But anyways, it grant exemption to the IFO exam, but not vice versa, right? IFO do not grant exemption to IAI, but IAI do grant exemption to IFO, which is a good thing, which helps. And we are going to discuss this much more in the later slide. So I think India is doing pretty well, right? And if you are thinking from exam clearing perspective, I think India should be your choice, right? Moving on, IFOA. So it is costly and it is not MCQ. Right now, as I mentioned, it is facing technical difficulties, but as I mentioned, it will overcome that in some time. So need not worry. But for the maybe for the next attempt, you might be worried a bit. But yeah, of course, they are going to kind of overcome that, right? And they also organize seminars, webinars, throughout the world in parts of Asia, Singapore, Europe, right? India, even this time they organized in India, even in US and Canada, they are organizing seminars, webinars all over the world. That is why they are so well known, right? And those are costly seminars as well. Passing rate, as I mentioned, stable, consistent, and transparent. These are the hallmark of IFA, most well recognized society, right? And it produce better quality actuaries as well as compared to right now, as compared to II. They're producing better quality actuaries because their exam standards are more difficult. They are not conducting MCQs. You have to write, you have to think, your thought process will be evaluated and not the answer, which I believe is the better approach or better way to mark a student or kind of judge a person, that on your thought process, not on the final answer that you get, right? And that is how life also work. So I think I'll always go with that method. MCQ is not the right method, as if you ask me, especially for a subject like actually where you need lot of brain power and you need to think from diverse directions. I have a team, and sometime I get people who are not thinking at all, right? They have done something and they want to continue doing that, and that will not work. You need variety of thinking. Sometimes your thinking can be wrong, but that is absolutely fine, right? And as a leader, my job is to give opportunity to my team members to fail. And if I don't do that, I have personally failed as a leader. So I think it is very important that you express your thought process in Actuary, and that is not happening in MCQ. So that is a bad thing. IFA does the same thing. I hope IFA do not move into MCQ, and it produces quality actuaries. It has some legal issues for which it cannot give exemptions. I mean, it is not possible for IFA ever to give exemption to any society, but it do have mutual recognition agreement with IAI and SOA. So if you pass from one society after some paperwork, you can also become an honorary fellow of IFA as well. So that is also something that you can use, right? And same goes for IAI and SOA. If you are a fellow from IFA, after some paperwork, the paperwork is a bit tough in II. I have not done that, but I have heard about that. In fact, after this April 2025, I'm going to start doing that with IA. And first I'll to start that with SOA, because I heard that SOA is much easier. And then once I have the experience, I'll start that with II. I will also post about my experience, like how it is easy and difficult, right? So that is how IFOA works. SOA, quite simple. It is quite transparent, and it's very kind of easy to go exam. So it is quite costly. That is the first demerit, most costly out of all the society. The passing rate is pretty high and it is consistent. Like IFOA recognition, as I mentioned, it is least recognized. It is only known in US, Canada, maybe bits of in bits and parts of Asia as well, but not as popular as IFOA is. And it is very less popular in India. It's slowly gaining momentum and popularity after its exemption agreement with IA. It is gaining some sort of popularity, but till now it is not that popular, right? So obviously it has MRA with IFO and II, right? So that is how it is, right? Few people these days are doing from writing exam from SOA because they believe that it will help them qualify easier, which is what I also agree with, because their passing rate is pretty high, and if you can manage to pay the fees, or if your company is reimbursing the fees, I think you can write exam from SOA. However, that might not be that well recognized in India. Like, people will struggle to understand, because for example, a person like me who have studied from IA and IFOA, if I see exam P and exam C and exam M, because those are not very descriptive name, right? So I'll not understand what paper you have cleared. So my interview with you would be slightly difficult, right? And I have to ask you, like, what does paper P represent or paper M represent, something like that, right? So that is where I think the lack of familiarity of SOA with the interviewers would be a hurdle, but not a major hurdle. It is not something that won't be overcome in maybe next 2 3 years, but it is least recognized, and that is its main problem, right? So what should you do if you are just starting, right? So I would say, based on how things are evolving. Now, if you asked me this, 2 3 years back, I would say my preference would be IFO, because it is transparent, it is a high passing rate. But now, I my first preference would be II, because it is MCQs. As I mentioned, the societies are saying to you or screaming at you to pass exam quickly, and they themselves are saying that exams are not important, right? So because of that, you should aim in passing exam. That will relieve you of some mental stress, right? But that might also add to a mental stress if you try to pass exam too quickly. So you have to pick a average pace and decent pace. Remember, slow and steady wins the race, not because they are slow and steady, but because in long term they gain unreal speed. So you have to kind of think on that aspect. Just go slow, but understand the concept. If you do not do that, if you take shortcut, then of course you are going to fail later in life, where it is more important for you to pass or be successful. So do not take shortcut in life. But II gives you that advantage because it is MCQ. It has right now, it have high passing rate, and it gives exemption from IFA, right? So which is a big strong point for II, because if you write same exam from II and IFA, suppose you fail from II, but if you pass that exam from IFA, you are going to get the exemption in II, right? So that saves an exam attempt for you. So basically, what are the tough exams like CP1 or maybe CM2? You can write from both the societies, and if you fail in one and if you pass in another one, I think that might help you, right? Also, if you prepare for IFA, IA exam happens in May, so you'll be automatically a bit more prepared for the IA exam, right? Depending on the timing of the exam. So I think that is where also, II will help you. right? Writing exam from IFA will help you. Second preference, obviously, IFA, because I've already mentioned, is better recognized transparency, stability. Is always learning and always improving, right? I think they have also acknowledged that many people have passed unethically. There is no way they can, kind of do anything about that, and probably they are a bit slow to react, but now they are reacting, which is a good thing. So they always listen, and they always evolve, right? SOA, as I mentioned, it is easier to pass. It is costly, but it is easier to pass. So that is why SOA would be your third preference as for me, right? Now, what I would have done, right, if I would be in your place or in your shoes, then I'd have chosen a combination of III and IFY. Like I mentioned, IIL will be my primary society because I will write exam from both the society if I can afford it, basically. And if the company is paying for my exam, so I'll register with IFY because that is higher costly, and I'll get my company to reimburse the IFY membership, yearly membership, and also other things. And then I'll write exam from IAI and IFA, get the IFA one reimbursed. Hopefully, if I clear, right, and then yeah, that's how. And then if I clear from IFA, I'm going to get exemption from II. If I clear from II, I'm in US. That is adding to my kitty, right? And I'll hope, and I'll get the exam increment and everything else, right? So that is how I should have gone. And IFO exam passes, as I mentioned, will help in II journey as well, right? So for me, I think it is better to choose combination of IFO and II being your primary society, right? So that should be your thought process. And then, you can, if you can reimburse the IFO membership fees, or if you can yourself afford that, I think that is, I mean, that is a very good perspective, right? And that will help you, that will make you, once again, that will make you a faster actuary, right? Busting few myths, and these are things that I have seen people asking me, and these are my judgments, these are my opinion, and your can be different from others, or someone else can differ with me in this. So it is up to you to believe this and do your own research and create your own judgment, right? So few people tell me that IA has better exam or tougher exam, so that is why IA is better than IFA. Now industry, once again, apologize for the, that unnecessary full stop. Somehow, maybe while typing, I'm typing the full stop too much. So industry do not distinguish between societies, right? So there is no way that IAI exams are tougher can be proved, and that is why industry never distinguishes between IA and IFA. They believe that IA and IFA are same, equivalent, right? So it is prevalent across the world. In fact, IFA probably be more better recognized throughout the world as compared to IA. So industry do not distinguish between this, right? II will produce bad quality actuaries because now it has gone MCQ. It is going to schools and colleges. So because of that, promotion to those people, or maybe because of the lower level in exam, that might be true to an extent. But as I mentioned, the societies are screaming that exams are just basic need, and clearing exam, is not that difficult thing to do. So with these days, I was talking to a few of my old friends who are in actuary, and they were saying that the quality of students have gone down so much that they are thinking of conducting their own exams. Like the company will conduct their own exam to hire people. They will not believe on the exam marks, or the number of papers, because while interviewing they are also facing this challenge that the quality of the students are very poor these days. And that is something that I have been saying for a long time, that do not take shortcut. Even in this video I mentioned that. So it is up to you. You guys have created that problem for yourself, and you have to now pay the penalty for that. So many, you will see in the future, many companies will be coming up with their own exam to filter out candidates, right? So just passing the exam will not be sufficient. Clearing the exam of the company, especially at the initial level, maybe for the first 2 5 years, it will be challenging, right? So this is, although this is true to an extent, the quality of the actuaries are going down, and if I conduct low level exam, the quality will further come down. But obviously that does not matter. If you have good experience, good quality experience, if you understand what is going on, then exam does not matter. And in few years, as I mentioned, exam will not matter, right? So everybody will be a fellow, then would get higher package, would lead the team, because they would be, everyone would be fellows, like everyone is a graduate these days, everyone is an engineer these days, everyone will be a fellow in some time. So then the quality of work will matter. So if you have good quality work, exam does not matter. It is just if you clear exam faster along with that, it is just better mental space and better less mental stress for you, right? SOA helps in going to US. I don't know who has spread this rumor, but I work in a US based company, right? And I got my job in that company through IFA and through my work mainly through my work right? So whenever you get to a senior level, whenever you are going to a different country, right, and that country is paying you high amount, or you are going in a leadership role or whatever it is, right? So you will be going there for your own experience, not because from which society you have cleared papers. In fact, in my company, they do not bother about kind of like from which society I have cleared papers. If I have done it, then all the better. The person who is heading the entire actual team is not a qualified actuary, right? And I have seen that in my previous company as well. So in outside world, qualification does not matter. Only in India this is a filtering criteria, and I think even in India also this will die a quick death, not a slow death. So I think that is not important. It's what is important is if you have good quality work, you can work anywhere in the world. If you do not have good quality work, right, if you cannot answer questions in interview, then SOS certification is not going to help you. And also you can get SOS certification very easily from IFOA qualification or II qualification after some paperwork. So that is not a big deal. If you want to be a quality actually, maybe write exam from IFOA. If you want to create or clear exam faster, right, and maybe give more time to job, if that is your thought process, then II, which I also would have followed in your place, like I mentioned, then II would be the society that you should go with, right? So I hope your questions are kind of cleared. And thanks for watching this video. As I mentioned, please do like this video, subscribe to this channel, check out our LinkedIn page. We post wonderful stuff. The team there has been doing great work. Especially, I'm very proud of my team for the Instagram page and for the LinkedIn page. The links are in the description. Do check out our courses. If you are interested in stock market derivatives, we also have courses for that, and of course for actuary, and as I mentioned, practical courses which will get you hired, which will help you clearing the interviews, right? So those courses along with the papers, right? And please comment in the YouTube section. These days I've seen a tendency among students to kind of message me in LinkedIn or in Instagram. I don't appreciate that, and LinkedIn is for a different purpose. So if you have any question, then please comment in the YouTube section. Maybe someone else can also see that, learn from that comment, and get that comment answered if that person has question, or can answer your on my behalf, right? And we can have a healthy discussion, right? So please do not message me personally. That is not how it should work. And I believe that it is better that you comment in the YouTube section. So thanks for watching this video. See you in future videos.